It's World Food Day, an initiative aimed at ending hunger across the globe. We pick up on the theme with Johan Dieck, CEO of Capespan, the fruit marketing and distribution business. He's in Cape Town. Hello, Johan. So, Johan, talking about poverty and hunger and eradicating that, in your experience of marketing food fruit in particular globally, what's your opinion on the cause of hunger? One thinks of many factors: inefficiencies, property rights, climate, poverty, etc. Your views?
There are many more factors than just weather patterns. Food supply and food production and distribution is also an economical activity. Now, the food prices are determined by free market forces, supply and demand. And whenever there is a challenge on production or demand increases, so would the price, and the price will follow. So food will go where people are who can afford to pay the market price for them. And the tragedy of this whole cycle is that there could be an abundance of food in parts of the world and other countries where people are starving.
So, Johan, what I'm hearing is
one need to balance that formula.
You're describing a situation of market failure, perhaps saying that we have hunger because markets don't work. Is the solution greater intervention on the part of governments?
Governments has got a big role to play here because especially on the African continent, where there are many inhabitants in the rural areas, far removed from the formal sector and the formal distribution channels. They are generally poor and out of pocket, and the affordability of food becomes a serious problem. Now, the political agenda in most areas is to incentivize and drive sustainable subsistence farming rather. Now, subsistence farming has got its own challenges. Food gardens are seasonal and there are gaps between crops, so communities have to work together, and that poses a challenge. Now, staple foods is supposed to be the cheaper line of food, but if one takes the distribution cost and the normal trade forces into account, reaching the rural areas, that is where the cost run up in the normal private sector. So government has got a role to play there to make it affordable.
Johan, we've got a few seconds, but perhaps in closing to ask you about the role of technology. You've spoken about government and distribution mechanisms. So plenty of innovation going on in the venture capital area. In the field of agriculture, there's also GM foods, genetically modified technology. Is that a solution?
Yes, biotechnology is a solution for many challenges. For instance, the global warming, which is bringing about severe weather patterns and shorter growing periods for grains, and biotechnology also takes care of that. But we're only experiencing the first signs of that and not the severity. So over the long term, there may be a whole new challenge regarding that. Then obviously crop yields need to be improved with the same resources because resources are limited. And biotechnology plays a role, and hopefully over the long term it will keep on developing. Otherwise it will pose a new challenge.